What if Naruto was the son of Amatersu and Chaos movie, 1 part. Son of Amatersu and Chaos by the Fearwithiness. Disclaimer. I do not own anything. This is a crossover. Enjoy. The war is finally over. Hopefully now nothing threatens the world like Madara and Kagaya did. I've got to say I'm not used to the peacefulness. Ever since I was a child I was beaten up, tortured, and shunned by the villagers. Now I'm being treated like the Hokage, possibly even better, which makes me feel weird. I've got to say being the Ten Tails Jinchuriki isn't that bad. Every time I get bored or lonely I go to my mindscape and talk to the nine-tailed beasts. They're like brothers and sisters to me and guide me if I need it. Also don't forget, after war was over everyone got into relationships quick. Sasuke with Sakura, Ino with Sai, Choki with Samui, Shikamaru with Tamari, Hinata with Shino, Kiba with some Izunuka girl, and surprisingly Kakashi-sensei with the freaking Mizukage. What was her name, like Mei? My. Anyways, can you believe it? I expect Guy-sensei to have a wife before Kakashi-sensei starts a relationship. This relationship thing is also a problem with me. As much as I hate to admit it, I'm pretty lonely after the war. Since everyone's in a relationship we all barely hung out with each other. I even think Tsunade Obaka is thinking about placing me in an arranged marriage, but I want to be in a relationship with someone who truly loves me and sees me as my true self, not the hero of a pointless war. I would trade all my accomplishments for the lives that have been lost from that war with no cause. Well, I'm starving, gonna eat premium ramen. Tap tap tap. I opened my eyes, snapping out of my thoughts, and looked at the window, and saw a silver-haired elite Jonin reading an orange book. Kakashi-sensei, what do you want? I ask, rubbing my eyes and stretch afterwards. Tsunade-sama needs to tell you something and wants you in her office quick. Kakashi said as he left my window. I wonder what Tsunade Obaka wants me for. Maybe it's time I become Hokage of Konoha. Hopefully. I got dressed in my usual orange and black jumpsuit with the Uzumaki swirl in the back and on my right shoulder, my ninja sandals, and my most prized possession, my Konoha headband. I also got a mysterious gift after the war. It was a katana. I haven't told anyone about this, but whenever I stab things with it, it summons the Amatersu flames that Sasuke uses with his Sharingan. After that I head straight to the Hokage's office. On the way I had my hands on the back of my head as I stare at the clouds in the sky and the beautiful warm sun, which I don't know why makes me feel better every time I get bored or hurt. The same feeling appears whenever I look into the stars as well. I'm really weird. Am I going insane? Never once in my life have I ever thought so deep in the caverns of my brain. Screech. My face paled. The only enemy that I can't slay or shove a Rasengan in the abdomen, fangirls. Man, I've got to ask Sasuke how he avoids them. Seriously, one time I was in the hot springs relaxing after the war alone, or so I thought. Dozens of girls were taking pictures. I swear I was blind from all the flashes from their cameras. After 5 minutes of waking and avoiding fangirls, I finally arrive at the office. As I opened the door I see Tsunade Obaka and a red-headed woman, and when I said red hair I mean red, blood red. What do you want to tell me, Tsunade Obaka? You're finally retiring and handing your position as Hokage to me, Naruto said. Tsunade chuckled and said, brat, I'm not retiring yet. Anyways, I'd like you to meet Amatersu here. You know her as Kushina Uzumaki. As the red-haired woman turned around, she looked exactly like my mom when I saw her while fighting Kurama. Needless to say, I was shocked and angry. Why angry? I'll tell you why. Tsunade Obaka, what kind of sick joke is this? Do not desecrate my mother's death like that. Why are you doing this to me and you? I said, pointing towards the Kushina, or should I say Amatersu wannabe. Get out of that henge and respect my mother's death now. Afterwards I got a smack in the head by the woman, which I can say hurts more than Sakura's heavy hits. OWW. What should do that for you, hag? I said to the woman as I rubbed the bump on my head. First of all, let me explain this, Sochi. I'm actually a kami, the Shinto kami of the sun and universe and the matriarch of the Shinto pantheon. And the reason why I was not able to tell this to you during your fight with the Kyuubi is because I would not want more things getting in your head, losing focus in the war. Congrats, by the way. I told Shinigami to make Madara suffer and made sure I punished Kagaya good. Amatersu said. My eyes widened and ran for a hug, and warm tears fell from my eyes. I don't know why, but my doubts have been removed. I knew this was my mom. I asked my mom while sobbing, Ka-chan, if you're a kami sobs, why did you leave me when I was a sobs child? Amatersu's pav, I'm so proud of my son. I went to Tsunade to get him and put him in his father's realm to a planet they call Earth. I could not help but smile seeing my child turn into a young adult so fast. I was about to say something until he asked me a question. Ka-chan, if you're a kami, why did you leave me when I was a child? I've got to say, after that my heart stung remembering the memories, seeing my son tortured by the vile villagers. I'll make sure I visit them soon with the permission from my good friend Shinigami. I shed a tear and wiped it and said with my most sincere voice, Naruto, when I died I was in my mortal for so I needed to reform, which took oddly enough 17 years, hence why I'm here now. Please forgive me. Consider this as a late birthday present since your birthday was a week ago. As I shed more tears, my son hugged me again, making me feel like the weight on my shoulder has been lifted. He told me, Ka-chan, I'll always forgive you, no need to cry. Remember what I said during the fight with the Kyuubi? I nodded. I told you and Dad that I never blamed you guys for what you did and that I'm glad I have parents like you. I cried again, this time tears of joy making me wonder what Minato and I did to have a son like Naruto. Not only did I give birth to the child of prophecy, but the exact child of my dreams as well. Speaking of his father, I have to tell him who Mina-kun really is. Sochi, now that you know who I am, I'd like to tell you who Minato really is. I said, taking a deep breath. Who is he, Ka-chan? Naruto asked me. A miniature black hole appeared in my room and a man appeared out of it. The man was none other than my love and only love, Minato, or should I say Chaos. Man, he does know how to make an entrance so hot. Wait, serious thoughts on, we can do that later. He. Naruto's paw, a Kamui-like thing, appeared in the office making me tense as I saw a figure exiting out of it. Afterwards I saw a certain blonde-haired blue-eyed man that is the famed and loved 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. TT2-chan, I asked in bewilderment, shocked seeing my mom and dad alive. This has to be a dream, I thought. Nope, it isn't, Sochi, Naruto. Both my parents said as they looked at each other and laughed. Privacy, please do not read my mind, I said, making both nod. So who are you two, Chan? I assume you have a godly name and that you took Minato Namikaze as a mortal name, I asked. My mom and dad both looked at each other and looked like they're reading each other's minds. After what seems to be a minute and a half, both nodded and looked at me, and my dad spoke first and said, Naruto, I'd like to tell you that I'm not from this world. In fact, I'm from another pantheon, which is called the Greek-Roman pantheon, and we are in your mom's pantheon, the Shintos. I was shocked at the fact that there's multiple worlds and pantheons out there. Cool, all the possibilities and worlds to save. I asked once again. Cool too, Chan. You and Ka-chan are really unpredictable like me, which earned a chuckle from everyone in the room. So mom's the goddess of the sun and universe. What about you? As I arched one of my eyebrows up and crossed my arms. He cleared his throat and said, well, Naruto-kun, my name is Chaos, also known as the first being and the creator of everything in my realm, but in here you grandparents are the creators and your mother took their role. As he held my mom's hand, making mom blush. Sweet, my dad's really cool and powerful, and so is my mom. I wonder if they could teach me god magic wizardry stuff. So what are you guys doing here? I asked both my mom and dad, knowing that they would not visit me without a reason. My dad spoke up first and said, straight to the point as always. Well, my realm needs your help. Your brothers and sisters are rising and plan on destroying my favorite planet, Earth, and if they do, they'll stop at nothing to stop me and take control of the universe and possibly attack different pantheons afterwards. I was happy that I have brothers and sisters, but after finding out their plans, I have to stop them from overthrowing my dad and stop them from annihilating my father's favorite planet, Earth. Weird name if you ask me, but to each its own. I looked at my father and asked, why are they doing this, Dad? And why didn't you tell me I had siblings? Surprisingly, Ka-chan didn't look jealous. Did she know about this? My dad looked at me with sadness in his eyes because of what happened to his children who turned evil. Naruto, I guess they've gotten tired of my rule and want to take my throne as ruler of the universe and everything. As for your second question, they're not related to you by blood. I simply created them to handle different powers to control. Needless to say, they're really powerful and you are the only one who can stop them. Also, you're my first ever child born naturally, so is your mother, which under hard training and determination you will become stronger than us, not to mention you are the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. This caused me to smile knowing that I'll surpass my parents and I'll try my hardest to make them proud. I looked at my eyes with sheer determination and said, "Who are they and what powers do they possess?" He smiled and looked at me with his blue eyes which turned black like the universe and said, "You'll face your brother Erebus, primordial god of darkness, along with his wife and your sister, Nyx, who is the primordial goddess of the night, Gaia your sister and the primordial goddess of earth and wife to Uranus, primordial god of the heavens, Aurea the primordial god of mountains, Pontus the primordial god of the sea, and Tartatus the primordial god of the underworld." My dad took a deep breath and said, "Those are your siblings who have defected and the most powerful as well. However, you do have a chance recruiting your other primordial siblings who have remained neutral and grew scared on opposing due to the power of your defected primordial siblings." As he handed me a scroll which contained a list of neutral and nice primordials like Hemera and Ether. I asked another question while scratching my head, "Do I have other allies other than primordials?" My father nodded and said, "Yes you have. You will be allied with the Olympian gods, which are like the Shinto gods but weaker, prideful, egotistical, and arrogant, and it is up to you to change them in their ways. Great arrogant pricks like Sasuke against the most powerful beings in the universe. Great. I wonder how I'll die should I blow up the planet at my final attempt. So when do we leave?" I asked, wanting to get out of my morbid thoughts. My mom spoke up and said, "You'll leave in an hour. Till then we wait here, as Tsunade already sent messenger slugs to call your friends in her office as you say your goodbyes to them." I smiled in joy knowing I'll get a proper goodbye to my friends. Great, another war, but this time the stakes are much bigger. Okay, now I regret for wishing to get some more action. Although new world equals new opportunities, meaning I could have a chance on getting a girlfriend in my dad's realm. I wonder if humans there look the same. All of my close friends arrived at Tsunade Obakan's office after 10 minutes of waiting, wondering why they've been summoned. Some had excited faces wondering if they have been called for a massive S-rank mission, and some had worried faces wondering if another threat has erupted. Needless to say, the Hokage's office was packed. The silence was broken when 3 figures appeared behind Tsunade. Of course all of the ninjas pulled kunais out as well as their respective preferred weapons. After they all identified the 3 figures, they had mixed emotions of shock and awe. They noticed Naruto's parents. After the war, Tsunade announced to the villagers Naruto's lineage, as well as a different-looking Naruto. Naruto now has changed in appearance. He grew to a 6 feet 3 height that towered all his colleagues. Not to mention he had a well-built frame, gaining a bit more muscle. His hair seemed to change the most. It was not the normal sun-kissed blonde that blinded everyone. When the sun reflected upon it, it seemed to dull a bit and gained streaks of red. Naruto's whisker marks seemed to have dulled, not making it too obvious. Sorry for Naruto whisker lovers, but I really despise it, so I made it dull and less obvious. Think of it as a healed scar. And lastly, one of his most prominent feature change is his eyes. I was not the normal sapphire blue everyone knew and loved. His sclera, the white part in your eyes, correct me if I'm wrong, is black, and his iris and pupil have been replaced with a constantly rotating Milky Way with a bright star shining in his pupil, and the abilities it can achieve are limitless. But it comes with a price. It can make Naruto temporarily blind for 10 minutes but can be lessened with hard training, PM or reviews for ideas and special things the eyes can do. Try to make the abilities not too op. Also, his attire has changed for the better. His orange pants have been replaced with black Anbu pants, which have been blessed by both Chaos and Amatersu, which made it the strongest material in both realms, and those with negative emotions and wrong intent in Naruto's eyes burn in jet black Amatersu flames upon contact. He also lost his orange and black jacket and replaced with a leather version with stripes of orange and the Uzumaki swirl spinning slowly on his left side, same material as the pants and effect possible add-ons later on in the story. His headband also changed. Instead of having cheap stainless steel metal, it is replaced with the Yata mirror, the Susanoo's shield fragments, which looks like red-orange metal that glows, and due to it being the pieces of the sacred Yata mirror, when Naruto channels chakra into it, a shield materializes and intercepts the point of impact, but it also massively drains chakra like one-tailed beast amount, trying to make Naruto not too op. Needless to say, Naruto looks like a complete bad asterisk. He also has a pouch that acts like a storage seal, but it can store an infinite amount of things and can retrieve anything he wanted by simply thinking about it when he reaches into it. Now let's start with the weapons. Naruto's mysterious katana's appearance has no changed, increasing its length, and its metal has changed into the blackest black. Before you could see light reflecting off of it, and now it seems to suck it. Maybe he could release the light that is getting sucked into it. Genius. Or nah. The handle is now more comfortable, and it engraved in kanji which translates into judgment, and the sword itself is as light as a feather. Naruto's shuriken and kunais have been changed as well. It's made out of chaos metal, which if cuts or stabs an immortal, the wound stays permanently even in death unless the curse is released by the wielder. Now why does it feel that I've gotten taller, and why are all the girls blushing and the guys have their jaws wide open? I thought. Yo, guys, what's wrong? I said, waving my hands in front of their faces. My mom chuckled and snapped her finger. Then a mirror appeared in my hand, and damn, I look good. A little weirded out by the eyes, but yays still look good. What happened to me too, Chan-ka-chan? I asked. Though I have to admit I look damn good with my new looks, so I'll take my new look. Well, while we went and hid from the others, Mina-kun and I blessed you, thus changing your appearance and clothes. Also, we've blessed your clothing and weapons as well, Amatersu said as she tapped my forehead. I've given you the knowledge of all your appearance changes and knowledge of your blessings as well. Your clothing perks, I'll add some more later. Minato-sensei, Kushina-sama, what are you two doing here? I thought you two died on the Kyuubi incident 17 years ago. Kakashi said while everyone in the room nodded furiously in agreement. Normal Pa of Chaos spoke first and said, to answer your question, we did die, but that was our mortal bodies. You see, Kushi-chan and I here are actually what you call kamis. Everyone except Naruto, Tsunade, and Amatersu was shocked with their mouths gaping. Amatersu stepped forward and said, you know me here as Kushina Uzumaki, the red hot-blooded habanero, but in reality I'm the Shinto goddess of the sun and universe, Amatersu. And to add a bit of effect, she turned the sun black with a snap of her fingers and turned it back. Afterwards Chaos spoke up, cleared his throat and said, I'm actually not a kami from this realm, as there are others out there. I came in the Shinto realm to visit. This caused multiple of Naruto's friends to raise their hands for questions about different realms. No questions for now, people asked Tsunade. Afterwards we briefed her. Anyways, in my pantheon, the Greek-Roman pantheon, they know me as Chaos. Ninragost, I saw your review about Chaos. I simply wanted him to be the creator in my story, so forgive me and thanks for the review. The creator of everything in my realm. My Shinto counterpart is Izanami and Izanagi. Everyone stood there in awe, finding out Naruto's parents are incredibly powerful and not ones you should trifle with. The room was silent until Kiba blurted out, why didn't you use your godly powers during the war since Orochimaru Edo Tensei you, Chaos-sama? Chaos said, first of all, not Sama stuff, it makes me feel old. He was cut off by Amatersu saying, that's because you are. Making everyone hold their laughter. Hida continued. Anyways, before I was interrupted by my 12-billion-year-old wife, I simply made Amatersu older than the creation of the universe. In real life the estimate is 14 billion, so I made her younger, so sorry if her real age is wrong, please no hate. Making Amatersu blush in anger and embarrassment. As to why we are here, Naruto is going on my realm to help save the whole universe from his evil siblings, and Tsunade called you all so that he can say goodbye. And no, you can't come to my realm because only immortals survive. If I bring one of you, you'll disintegrate. Amatersu saw the sad faces and said, don't worry, Naruto will visit from time to time. Causing everyone to sigh in relief. After finding out Naruto's going to leave, everyone had tears accumulating in their eyes, even Kakashi and Sasuke, who were basically emotionless people. Let's just say what happened next was horrifying. Why? Naruto got bombarded with hugs. If he was a mere mortal, he would have died of suffocation. We'll miss you, Naruto-kun, Hinata said as she released him from her tight hug. Naruto chuckled and said, now don't be like that, it's not like I'm gonna die, right? Everyone had looks of doubt in their faces after being told Naruto's going to face his powerful siblings, which makes the 10 tails seem like an ant. Oh come on guys, have faith. You know what, how about this, I will come back at another promise of a lifetime. And last time I did it, Sasuke came back, see. Sakura then playfully punched Naruto's shoulder and said, idiot, you better, or else I'm going to ask Shinigami to revive you and kill you afterwards. Making Naruto sweat drop and Chaos chuckle, murmuring something about being like Amatersu in the old days. Dobi gulped. Sasuke caught a murderous glare from both Chaos and Amatersu. Make sure you kick their asses, okay? Also get a girlfriend too, I've been noticing your loneliness. Sasuke said, emotionless. Wow, was I that easy to read? Naruto said as he received a bunch of yes and nods. Chaos put his hand on Naruto's shoulder and said, well, the hour's up, it's time to go. Naruto sighed and said, okay, before I go, Konohamaru. Konohamaru and his gang was pushed towards Naruto. Konohamaru, if it takes a long time for me to come back to Konoha, I want you to be Hokage and make sure when I come back I get a huge ramen all-you-can-eat fest, alright? Konohamaru had an ocean of tears pouring from his eyes and said, you got it, boss. Naruto smiled and ruffled his black hair. Well, bye guys, make sure Konoha is still in one piece when I come back. Naruto said, giving a thumbs up to everyone as they yelled, for sure. Sochi, it's time to leave, and when we arrive let's just say we'll make an amazing entrance that will make us worthy of gods and goddess of entrances. Amatersu said as Naruto chuckles at his mother's mischievous antics, and wipes his lone tear. The three left, going into a black hole-like portal. After they exited, all he heard was a loud, cocky voice yelling, "WHO dares interrupt this meeting." Throne room 10 minutes before encounter with Chaos, Amatersu, and Naruto. As usual, the boring council meeting has started with the purpose of improving the world. But during the meeting, Hermes and Apollo were on their phones sending pictures of potential mortal girlfriends. Ares was sharpening his celestial bronze spear, mumbling about things being too peaceful. Aphrodite, on the other hand, was writing in her diary, scheming ways to destroy love lives of mortals. Hephaestus was on his iPad constructing a three-dimensional models of new weapons and armor. Dionysus, as usual, was asleep, drunk, clutching an empty wine bottle. Artemis was in deep thought, thinking about how disgusting men are, and that she'll love no one. Hint. Hint. Maybe potential Naruto pairing. What do you think? As much as I like Artemis, I think she's been really overused, but if you want me to make her Naruto's lover, I'll set up a poll later on. Athena was as usual reading something, although this time she decided to spice it up and read a scroll instead of a book. Demeter was thinking of a new brand of cereal that exponentially helps a person's body that could rival ambrosia and nectar. Poseidon was clutching his trident, sighing, thinking about his demigod son Percy and how he has declined godhood twice. Hera was scolding Zeus about cheating on her with multiple affairs, while Zeus, on the other hand, was looking at the other direction, ignoring Hera and thinking ways to get more power. Hades was daydreaming about new methods to torture in the fields of punishment. And Hestia, the eldest of the children of Kronos and Rhea, was tending her hearth, sighing on how almost any mortal's family is normal and loving, while hers acts like a bunch of 5-year-olds whining about everything, complaining, keeping grudges, being stubborn. After 5 minutes of pointless mess, Zeus slammed his master bolt to catch everyone's attention. He cleared his throat and improved his posture and said, "Shall we start with the meeting?" Everyone nodded in agreement. "So it has come to my attention that multiple powerful beings are stirring around somewhere. I just feel it." "I agree with you for once, brother." Both Poseidon and Hades said in unison, while Athena was already starting to think hypothesis. "I see. Shall I investigate, father?" Artemis asked, already standing up ready to leave. "You shall." Zeus was cut off by a huge black hole-like thing that materialized in the room, spitting out 3 entities whose bodies are pitch black, hiding their identities. Zeus clutched his master bolt and yelled with pride and cockiness, "WHO dares interrupt this meeting." While the others sat clutching their weapons, although quite intimidated by the amount of aura the 3 beings were releasing. Present Naruto's Pava. Mom and Dad was right. Instead of a normal, "Excuse me, who are you and why are you interrupting us?" the arrogant prick decides to yell with pride, not assessing who he's dealing with, and talks before he speaks. "I could not believe the Greek Romans have stayed in one piece this long. Sure, there's like that 1% that are actually kind, like Hestia, who actually cares for her family, and I sense a desire of her wanting to fix this poor excuse of a family. Maybe Artemis for girls, that is. Athena, but that brain of hers think too pridefully and could cause her downfall, and also Demeter, who seems to be a laid-back woman. Other than that, I see a bunch of idiotic beings who is supposed to represent the whole earth and be a role model for their sons and daughters. If screwing things that move and getting pregnant is their view of a role model in this world, but I'm not to judge. They might be actually be good people. I emphasize on the word might on that last sentence. Anyways, if things keep going like this, I might as well defect on the other side and hope for the best. Smack. I deserved that, and what happened to respecting my privacy? I thought. Yes you do, and don't defect, remember you can change them. You changed Pain, remember, and made him revive everyone he killed during his Konoha invasion plan. Also I'm your mother, I can do what I want, she says in a matter-of-factly tone, causing me to sigh. Yes Ka-chan, I was just joking. I said. You better, or I'll get Shinigami to come visit you and let him try out his new torture tactics. She said with no emotion. Okay, I won't defect, Mom, chill. I said, worried, not wanting to be a guinea pig for torture. Normal Pa of Chaos went forward and smirked and talked in an intimidating voice. Is that the way you address your creator? As Chaos snapped his finger, revealing his Minato Namikaze appearance, causing a lot of goddesses to blush, and causing Amatersu to clutch her fists and glared at the women. Lord Chaos, what do you want of us Olympians? Zeus asked, scared that he might be punished for yelling at the creator of everything. Well, first of all, I'd like to introduce you to my family, Chaos said, causing Aphrodite pout, knowing she doesn't have a chance on taking the creator. Amatersu walked forward and nonchalantly stomped her foot, causing the black shadow to disperse, and what revealed was a beautiful redhead woman in her mid to late 20s with her fancy royal kimono reaching all the way down to her feet, simple yet stylish. Now this caused a bunch of gods to open their mouths, daydreaming about their fantasies with the beautiful woman who no doubt looked better than Aphrodite, and also make a bunch of goddesses excluding Hestia and Artemis very jealous. Chaos was simply proud of his wife making people react like that, and Naruto went to overprotective mode and glared at all of them. Amatersu snickered at the reaction and said, as you may know, there are some different pantheons out there like the Norse, Egyptian, and some others. I'm actually from the Shinto pantheon. This caused every god and goddess to widen their eyes. I am the matriarch of the Shinto pantheon. You know me as Amatersu, Shinto goddess of the sun and universe and wife to your creator Chaos. Everyone in the room knew not to mess with the woman, knowing that the Shintos were very powerful beings that equal to primordials in the Greek-Roman pantheon. Both Chaos and Amatersu spoke and placed their arms on Naruto's shoulder and said, this is our son Naruto Uzumaki, the only natural-born child of Chaos, and he is the Greek-Roman primordial of hatred, space, time, elements, the usual lightning, earth, water, wind, and fire, bravery, respect, loyalty, and the primordial god of all primordials, and Shinto god of beasts, chakra, destruction, peace, elements, and Shinto god of gods, and heir to the title of creator of the universe and heir to the Shinto throne as ruler of the Shinto universe as well. That caused Naruto to gape his mouth wide open, knowing his domains, and caused the Olympians to know not to trifle with fishcake over there. Chaos then released his shadow, hiding him, causing every god to look in envy, and every goddess blush and drool at the sight of an overly blonde teenager with unimaginable sapphire blue eyes. Yes, Naruto can switch from his blue eyes to the galaxy ones, and please tell me what to call it. Also, Naruto did not know he switched his eyes from the galaxy to blue. He accidentally channeled chakra to his eye, causing the change, his well-built body, his tall height, and his sense of style. Naruto's paw of no kami, no please, no more fangirls. This is a million times worse since they're goddesses, they are immortal. Although a certain silver-eyed, auburn-haired goddess caught my eye, was she the man-hater? Once again, tell me if you want Naruto, Artemis. I got off my thoughts and simply said, hi, causing everyone in the room to chuckle. Dad pat on my shoulder and told the gods and goddesses, the reason to why I'm here is because evil primordials are rising with a purpose to rule the whole universe and overthrow you Olympians, and hence why I arrived here with my son. He is going to aid you all as well as the 9 primordial beasts within him. Widening everyone's widened eyes some more, if that's even possible, and paled everyone's faces, matching Hades' skin color. Mindscape finally talking with the tailed beasts. Kid, we'll aid you in another stupid war as well as train you, since your domains concerns us beasts. Kurama said, with all the other tailed beasts to give thumbs up and nod, agreeing. Thanks you all, this means a lot to me, and I promise after this stupid war I'll release you wherever you want, although I got a feeling Kurama here is staying with me with his girlfriend Matabi, am I right? I said, wanting to agitate Kurama since I see him as an older sibling. Both Kurama and Matabi glared at me, wiggling their tails furiously. Shut up Kit Naru-kun. Both Kurama and Matabi said, causing the tailed beasts and I to laugh. Alright, see you guys, I said, receiving buys from everyone. Back to Naruto's paw. Hades surprisingly spoke up and said, so that must be the disturbances Zeus, Poseidon, and I were feeling. With Zeus and Poseidon nodding. Agreed, Chaos said, rubbing his chin in deep thought. Suddenly a bright flash appeared in the room, revealing two primordials who are my brother and sister Hemera and Ether laying down on the ground in the middle of the throne room. Both were battered and beaten, and everyone gasped as Mom, Dad, and I rushed towards them. Naruto, Chaos, and Amatersu rushed towards Ether and Hemera's side. Chaos and Amatersu knew that they could not help as much as they wanted to due to some stupid ancient law that forbids the most powerful being on each pantheon to use powers to aid both mortal and immortal affairs. After seeing the terrible condition of the two primordials, Zeus quickly sent Apollo to aid Hemera and Ether as he teleported to their bodies. The Olympians were terrified seeing two of the most powerful primordials in such a horrible condition. Apollo told Naruto to feed Ether ambrosia while he feeds Hemera with nectar. After feeding them, their wounds started to heal fast, like the Kyuubi's regeneration that Naruto inherited from Kurama due to him being sealed within Naruto practically ever since he was born. Okay, I'm going to teleport them in my temple's own personal hospital room, and put them both there to rest and recover. They might be unconscious for about 2 to 3 days. Apollo said as he placed his bloody hand on both Hemera and Ether's shoulder, teleporting them to his hospital room and laying them in a comfortable bed, and called his personal nurses to care for them as he teleported back to the throne room. Naruto felt relieved that they were alive after seeing their condition. He knew that they would make it, for he have been through much worse as a child, being beaten, poisoned, shunned, and some more attempts that would scar a child's childhood. Even Naruto's surprised he'd stayed sane after all of those bad experiences, also not revenge-filled, and stayed loyal to Konoha. Apollo arrived back to the throne room as he sat on his throne, telling them about their condition and that he left his doctors and nurses to care for them. Naruto looked at his father with his eyes changing to his galaxy eyes and said, "To-chan, who did that to Ether and Hemera?" Changing his voice to Kurama's, giving almost every Olympian's shivers down their spines except for Ares, who thought it was an amazing voice to use during battle. Chaos sighed and said, "As I was studying their wounds, it was as clear as day to who did it." Everyone was at the edge of their seats until a foul-smelling black mist appeared into the room and yelled in a scary voice that rivaled Kurama's, "Me." Naruto unleashed his Nine-Tails mode, transforming into a gigantic orange semi-see-through nine-tailed fox, looking the figure behind the mist with hatred and rage, and said using his demonic voice, "You prick, who are you? Trying to hurt my brother and sister like that? I'll cast you straight to Tartarus when I see you." The figure laughed, causing Naruto to anger some more, and said, My little brother, how can you send me to Tartarus? That's impossible, because I am Tartarus, and Tartarus the abyss has no effect on me. The only way to stop me is to... Well, secret. Anyways, Olympians, heed this as a warning. This is just a sample to what I'm going to do to you when I capture you. Bye, you weak fools, and little brother. Naruto raised his eyebrows. Tell little Ether and Hemera that there's more to come. As the foul-smelling mist vaporized, you can hear Tartarus' evil laugh as it faded. Naruto was still in his Nine-Tails mode, intimidating all of the Olympians with the sheer amount of power and killing intent it spewed out. It made Typhon and Kronos seem like an ant compared to its raw power. Naruto's mother calmed him down somehow, and transformed back to human, and the council resumed afterwards. Athena quickly asked a question: how did Tartarus hear or find us out in the first place? Chaos nodded and said, it's because of Amatersu, and due to us being the matriarch and patriarch representing our pantheon, we have a special aura that can be easily picked up by nearby primordials. I see. So Tartarus is nearby, Athena said as Chaos responded, well, by near I mean about the whole New York state, but I suppose you can send Artemis to hunt him down since she is not as much bound to the ancient laws. I will not send sis Artemis. Both Zeus and Apollo said in chorus. Chaos smirked and said, exactly, that is why I have a proposition. Zeus and Apollo quieted down. First of all, I do not doubt your skills, Artemis, but in a battle between you and Tartarus, let's be honest, you will not die but fade, Chaos said, causing Artemis frown and pout, but she had to agree, so I'll send Naruto here to aid you hunting him down, and no, he is not going to be your guardian. He will leave your hunters after you to find and defeat Tartarus. Athena analyzed Chaos' plan, spoke up and said, I agree with this plan, Lord Chaos. It will increase chances of survival with Lord Naruto around. I'm sorry, sister, but it is the truth. You have to make an exception for your man-hating ways for now. Causing Artemis' face to redden with anger and say, gritting her teeth, fine. Chaos spoke next and said, oh, and I will allow Naruto to have another god or goddess to come with him besides Artemis. Choose wisely, Naruto. This caused Ares to stand up and raise his hand up like an 8-year-old in school, yelling, ooh. Pick me. While Naruto was in deep thought. Naruto's pav him. I don't know who to pick. Ares. No, he'll just rush and get himself killed. Hades. No, who'll run the underworld, though he could be useful since I guess of all the gods and goddesses he knows more about Tartarus. Poseidon. Nah, water will probably be useless if we go fight him in Tartarus. Hestia. Maybe she is one of the most underestimated Olympian due to her kind and caring attitude, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's big 3 level or even stronger. Plus her kind and caring attitude might make some defected minor gods join back. Aphrodite. Unless we fight against possessed beauty products. No. Demeter. Maybe if we want to overfeed Tartarus to death with cereal. Apollo. Maybe just hope he doesn't get too occupied with mortal ladies while we're finding Tartarus. Plus he'll be too overprotective with Artemis and the two will bicker and fight until our hunt for Tartarus is over. Zeus. Hell to the no, nuff, said Hera. Not a good decision. Dionysus. First of all, why the fuck does wine need a god? Oh yeah, let's intoxicate Tartarus somehow and kill him. That's a great idea. Hermes. I think about it being the god of travelers. We could find Tartarus sooner. Hephaestus. His contraptions might become useful. I'll make a note. And finally Athena. To be honest, I think it's either her or Hestia. Athena's wisdom can help us a lot, plus with her brains she'll develop a strategy, no doubt, and being a goddess of war with a brain, no doubt that's a deadly combo. Sochi. My mom said as I shook my head, getting away from my thoughts. I asked, can I choose tomorrow? I'll really have to think about his one, plus there's no rush anyways, right? Normal Pav Chaos replied, you can, and for your second question you have about a month to find him, plus Tartarus has been recently reformed so he is still weak. Naruto also wondered where he is going to stay for the time being and said, so do you Olympians have a motel or some place I can stay at until I find a permanent home? Aphrodite was about to suggest Naruto to stay at her temple via charm speak, but was beaten by Chaos, who said, I made you a temple at the nearest vacant plot. It's yours, son, and you can modify it for your choosing. Naruto beamed with happiness, imagining what he could make his temple look like. Naruto's mindscape. Yo, Naruto, you better make us each a gigantic room with our preferable habitats. Skikaku said. Don't annoy Naru-chan, he's helped us enough. Matabi said. Don't worry guys, I'll make you guys your own wonderful rooms, so yeah. Thank you Naruto, we all are glad that you are our Jinchuriki. Gyuki said while all the tailed beasts nodded. Alright, see you guys, I promise I'll release you maybe after we hunt down Tartarus. Naruto said proudly. No, it is not smart to do so. Think about it, while we're staying at our rooms or roaming around the world you'll be fighting those evil primordials and you can't use our chakra nor our powers. Chome said. I have to agree kid, we'll stay with you, just release us later. Let's just hurry up and finish this stupid war. Kurama said, laying down starting to nap. Okay guys, bye, see ya. Naruto said as he left his mindscape, happy that his tailed beast friends are loyal to him, and are willing to aid him. Somewhere in New York State. So father sent his first natural-born child Erebus said via foul-smelling mist, or as they call it TM Tartarus messaging. Yes indeed, though we need to avoid him for now, his domains are secret and his powers are unknown. Tartarus said with worried. What do you mean? You were spying on them, right? And what happened to your Batman voice? Uranus said playfully as he crossed his arms. Look, I tried my best, I was lucky enough to TM them and send them threats. Okay, it was due to the disturbance. I got a feeling father knew I was listening and decided to make it so that what I hear is irrelevant and harmless, and I use that voice when it is necessary. Tartarus said frustratingly, knowing he semi-failed his spying mission and that he was being teased by not using high evil voice. I see, I'll make sure to make the Titans and the Giants reform faster as well. Gaia said, leaving the TM call. Is that all, brother? Nyx asked. Ah yes, let us continue preparations. Tartarus said as he left the TM call. Tartarus was frustrated knowing Naruto was definitely going to hunt him down to kill him or worse make him fade. Watch out Naruto, you're in a world of pain when I get you. Tartarus said out loud as cracks on the earth for reeking the smell of dead corpses as he takes each step. Normal Pav. Naruto. Naruto. Chaos said, waving his arms in front of Naruto's face. Yes, sorry about that, I was talking to Kurama and the others in my mindscape. I said sheepishly, scratching the back of my head. Kurama and the others. Mindscape. Athena blurted out loud, curious to what I'm talking about. Ah yes, they. Kurama is one of the Shinto primordial beasts sealed within me, and I plan to release them from my hold after this meaningless war. Naruto said, looking straight at Athena. Did they pose a threat to Olympus? Zeus asked, worried about losing his power to his throne. No, I don't suppose, unless you try to use them as pawns or for your own personal good, then they will leave you alone. Naruto said sternly, making sure that the Olympians won't try to manipulate Kurama and the others after the war. So what Shinto primordial is Kurama? Athena asked, summoning her notebook and pencil. Naruto went to his mincape and asked, Kurama, do you want me to tell her? Sure, go ahead, tell them I'm the Shinto primordial of demons and hatred. Tell them if they mess with me I shall take them to my personal demon torture chamber that makes Tartarus the abyss look like heaven. Kurama said as he went back to sleep. Thanks Kurama, Naruto said joyfully as he left his mindscape. Naruto cleared his throat and inhaled a huge breath of air and said, Kurama is known as the Kyubi no Yoko, or the nine-tailed demon fox. I believe you saw his form earlier. As the Olympians nodded and gulped. Now for his domains, he is the Shinto primordial of hatred and demons. Also he told me that if you mess with him he'll take you to his demon torture chamber that makes Tartarus the abyss look like heaven. As the Olympians' sweat dropped. Okay, enough of that, we will have to go. Chaos said while holding Amatersu's hand. What? Why? Naruto said with sadness, getting separated from his parents again. Sorry Sochi, you see we heads of pantheons radiate so much power it attracts every vile beast to us, and exposing your location. Amatersu said, giving a sad smile knowing how Naruto felt. How come you powers feel normal? Naruto said while the Olympians nodded. You see, we were just suppressing them for the time being. Also we can't suppress them for long, but I'm sure after this war we will be back as a family. Amatersu said. We have to go Naruto, we will be watching your journey. Chaos said as both Amatersu and Chaos went inside a portal leading somewhere. Unknown Pav, you might have a good idea on who it is, but who knows? Sadir brother has a child. I'll have to ask him about him later after the sounds of pleasure is over. Seriously, can't they take a freaking break? Plus I want to catch up with Amatersu. 17 years is a long time. I need good gossip in the Shinto pantheon. She left me hanging with Susanoo's secret lover. I thought out loud as I left Chaos's temple, teleporting to mines. Milady, you seem troubled. One of my servants said. No, I'm just simply bored and want to do something new, plus I don't know why, but I feel lonely. I quickly said, sighing. Well, I'm sorry if it is not my place to say it. But milady, why not find yourself a faithful boyfriend? I heard about Lord Chaos and Lady Amatersu's only natural-born child. Perhaps you can hit it off with him. My servant said. I raised my eyebrows at my servant's statement and thought, was this the reason I feel lonely? I've got to ask Eros about this. Okay, does anyone else have anything else to say before I dismiss the council? Zeus asked everyone. Naruto raised his hands and said, Lord Zeus, I need someone to take me to my palace. Hermes. Zeus yelled. Got it, Pops, come on Naruto. I can't wait to see what it looks like. Hermes said as he teleported in front of Naruto. Afterwards all the gods left, resuming their duties. Why do you say that? Naruto asked. Well, I've always wondered what Chaos Palace would look like. I know you're his son, but close enough. Hermes said as he grabbed my shoulder and flashed me in front of my palace. Whoa, Naruto exclaimed. Whoa indeed, Hermes said. The palace was magnificent. It looked like a Japanese imperial castle with the rarest materials known to the universe used to build it. Bro, Athena would be so jealous right now, Hermes stated as he chuckled quietly. Why'd you say that? Naruto asked, genuinely confused. Well, Athena has the tendency to making every palace on Olympus look magnificent, but yours puts everyone's to shame. No offense to her plans are great, but damn, yours is just one of a kind. Hermes said as Apollo flashed between them. Hermes, my man, wanna come and whoa sweet crib you got there? Naruto, can you show us a tour? Bruh, Athena would be so jealous right now. Apollo said as he led the two to Naruto's palace as if he owned it. Apollo approached the gate and tried to open it, but got shocked and blasted 10 feet away. The event caused Hermes and Naruto to burst out laughing. Not see cool, Apollo said as he recovered. I think it only allows me to open it, Naruto said as he approached the gates and opened it slowly. Ah, there you see, now come on in, guys, Naruto said, making a gesture to both of them to come in. The three were at Naruto's palace for hours, finding every nook and cranny. Apollo and Hermes left thanking Naruto for the tour and telling him to plan a party and invite them. Time skip. Next day, Naruto got ready and went to the main gates and saw a roughed up Athena with her hair sticking up. Naruto opened the gate exiting his palace. I see you've got a problem there, Lady Athena, Naruto said as he bowed respectfully while trying to keep his laughter. First of all, no bowing and calling me lady, and second of all, how can I not enter your palace? Athena asked, confused. Well, you see, my place gates only open to me, and only me. I think you know what happens if someone tries to open it other than me, Naruto said as Athena blushed in embarrassment. I see, so it has its own self-recognizing system, that's new, Athena muttered out loud. So, would you tell me why you tried entering my castle? Naruto asked as he crossed his arms. Well, I wanted to ask you about its materials, seeing that it's different from the rest, and Zeus also told me to summon you, Athena said in one breath. Very well, Athena, I shall tell you what materials it is made of and give you a tour inside as well if you want, Naruto said as he gave a heartwarming smile. Athena lightly blushed at his smile and stuttered, "IIW would appreciate it. Now let's go to the throne room. I believe we've been keeping your father waiting for so long," Naruto said. He touched Athena's shoulder, causing her to blush, and teleported in the middle of the throne room. Throne room. Naruto and Athena appeared in the middle of the throne room. Naruto got into his temporary throne and Athena went to hers. Everyone noticed Athena's tattered look, causing everyone except Naruto to raise their eyebrows. What happened to you, daughter? Zeus asked to Athena, worried if she got into a battle against a monster after seeing her tattered clothes. Athena was about to speak up before Naruto cut her off. She tried entering my palace via opening my gates, but the gates only open to me. Anyone who tries to open it gets shocked and blasted back. Hermes and Apollo burst out laughing, falling off their thrones, and Naruto just chuckled quietly. Interesting, so a self-recognizing gate mechanism then? Hephaestus asked. Indeed, though it does have an invisible barrier dome that surrounds the whole castle, bordering the walls, Naruto said. How do you know that such a thing is merely impossible? Athena said. Well, why don't you ask Lady Artemis there? Naruto said as he glanced towards Artemis. Artemis blushed in anger and embarrassment, remembering last night's event when she tried to take over her duties as she flew her chariot. Well, you see, as I was taking over my duties, I flew over Naruto's palace with my chariot only to hit it and crash to the ground. Afterwards, Hermes and Apollo continued to laugh even more, then shutting up after seeing 2 silver arrows landing an inch between their family jewels. Okay, back to important matters. Naruto, have you picked a god or goddess to accompany you and Artemis hunters on the quest to find Tartarus? Zeus asked. Naruto scratched the back of his head and said, Well, I pick Hestia to accompany Artemis, her hunters, and I on the quest, Naruto said as everyone's jaws dropped and eyes to bulge out. Artemis was glad he chose a goddess instead of a male, though she was still immensely pissed at the fact that Naruto, a mono boy, was joining her hunters at the duration of the quest. Why me? I am not as strong as other gods and goddesses, Hestia said, still shocked, trying to comprehend what Naruto just said. Naruto shook his head in disagreement and said, staring into Hestia's eyes, Listen, do not undermine your skills, Lady Hestia. I sense that within you lies immense power and potential, and if you train, no doubt you will be one of the strongest goddesses, possibly surpass the big 3 in strength as well. Hestia blushed crimson red at his praise because never once in her immortal life was she praised as a powerful goddess. Zeus got angered at Naruto's statement and yelled, "How dare you say she is stronger than everyone in this room, especially me? Yes, I dare, because all her life she has always been seen as a weak goddess that would not hurt a fly, but her hidden strength could easily beat Typhon at any day, and I do not speak for her, I speak for everyone in this room. You all have untapped potential," Naruto said, glaring at Zeus, activating his galaxy eyes, scaring the king of gods. Hestia, if possible, blushed even more redder at Naruto's praise. She was glad no one glanced at her because her face looked like a tomato. "Hestia will just slow down both you and Artemis on the quest. Take one of my sons or daughters instead," Zeus barked, making Naruto wish he'd just shut his mouth. "No, I personally want Hestia to accompany Artemis and I on the quest. Want assure you she'll be a goddess to be trifled with once you see her true skills blossom," Naruto hissed at Zeus, causing Zeus to redden with anger. "Primordial or not, if my daughter and this quest gets jeopardized, you'll wish for Tartarus," Zeus said with anger, gripping his Master Bolt tightly. Everyone in the room looked at Zeus with shock and disbelief after hearing him threaten a primordial, the son of their creator no less. "Look, son of Kronos, threaten me once more and I swear on the river Styx, Chaos, and Amatersu I'll get someone to replace you as king of gods," Naruto said as thunder rumbled at the distance. Everyone's eyes widened after hearing him swear on Chaos and Amaterasu's name at the same time, as no mortal and immortal had the courage to swear upon Chaos' name as well as Amaterasu's. Suddenly 2 portals appeared beside Naruto as Amatersu and Chaos appeared through it. Chaos looked at Naruto with a smile and said, "My boy, you are the only one with guts to swear on my name. Also take note, as this is an oath you cannot break, but I can. You know, forget about it later," Chaos said playfully to his son. "The same can be said here, Sochi. I won't kill you if you break it like any other immortal who swears upon my name, but if you do break it I'll let you meet your uncle Shinigami," Amatersu said, giving a motherly smile to Naruto which creeped out everyone. "Well, it's time to go. We'll be watching, son," Chaos said, entering the portal. Amatersu hugged Naruto, kissed him on the cheek and left as well. Zeus paled and was at the loss of words and just zipped his mouth shut, knowing he'll say another stupid thing to Naruto. While Poseidon and Hades smirked at Zeus' reaction. Poseidon spoke up, seeing his little brother speechless. "Does anyone oppose Naruto's decision?" Only Ares' hand rose. Zeus would have argued at Poseidon for taking over, but he was still shocked. "Lady Hestia, do you want to come? If not, I'll pick Lady Athena if she is willing," Naruto said respectfully to Hestia. Before Hestia could respond, Artemis looked at Naruto with one eyebrow raised and asked, "Pick Athena if Aunt Hestia refuses?" "I'm getting suspicious at your choices at this quest, boy." Athena on the other hand knew the logic in Naruto's words, knowing that with Artemis, Naruto, and Hestia they could beat Typhon within seconds and give any primordial a run for their money, and if Hestia refuses to join the quest and Athena went as her replacement, they still would have the strength that could beat almost any monster, titan, giant, and some primordials. Naruto looked at the goddess of the hunt with mild frustration and said, "I pick Athena as a second choice to aid us in this quest because her wisdom, strategy, knowledge, and experience will help us greatly in this quest. Also, do not assume that I picked another woman to accompany us because I plan to do something to defile them, for I have a reason for getting a goddess to accompany us. Oh, do tell, boy, I won't hesitate on putting an arrow to your pathetic heart if you try and attempt to reward yourself," Artemis said, saying boy with venom. While every Olympian started to get worried seeing how Artemis talked to Naruto, who by the way is leagues stronger than every Olympian combined. The Olympians wondered if Naruto will make Artemis fade from her threat. Naruto smiled, causing everyone to shiver, and said, "I picked a woman because I know that we will be traveling with your hunters, and if I were to choose a male such as Apollo it would not bode well, thus slowing down our job to find and defeat Tartarus." Artemis' face flushed red with anger and embarrassment as she glared at Naruto with a burning passion of hate, while everyone in the room except Zeus and Artemis to snicker and chuckle. "Can I just say, burn. B-U-R-N. Burn," Apollo yelled as he bumped fists with Hermes, while everybody in the room either nodded and laughed, knowing it was true. For the first time in centuries, Artemis got beaten by a male on a conversation. Everyone silenced when Artemis took aim and fired blunt arrows to Apollo's balls, causing the sun god to shriek like a girl, causing Naruto to try and hold back his laughter. Not cool little sis. Not cool. Apollo said as he grabbed his stomach in pain. I'm not your little sis. Artemis said as she pouted. Naruto cleared his throat, getting everyone's attention, and said, again, Lady Hestia, are you willing to join Lady Artemis, her hunters, and I on the quest? Hestia gave Naruto a hearth-warming smile and said, I accept, Naruto, and just call me Hestia. Very well, milady, Naruto said respectfully. Also, the hunt for Tartarus begins tomorrow. As everyone nodded their heads in agreement. Does anyone else have anything to say? Zeus stuttered at the council, still scared for Naruto's oath to overthrow him the next time he threats him. Silence erupted on the throne room. Very well, see, council dismissed. Zeus stuttered again, causing Hades and Poseidon to hold their laughter, seeing their little brother in such a powerless state. Everyone flashed away one by one, as the only ones that remained were Hestia and Artemis. Artemis went up to Naruto, slightly guilty for accusing him during the council meeting. She looked at Naruto and said, I'm sorry into jumping to conclusions earlier. Naruto looked at Artemis' silver eyes and said, I accept your apology. Next time don't go assume that because I'm a male I would do something vile to you and your hunters. Artemis gave nod and said to both Hestia and Naruto, meet me and my hunters at my palace. We will start our hunt for Tartarus once we've gathered. Naruto and Hestia nodded and Artemis flashed away. Hestia walked towards Naruto. As she was getting closer, she lunged at him and gave him a hug. As she was hugging him, she whispered, thank you for why you've said earlier about me in the council. I've always been looked down upon as a goddess. As she sheds a tear. Naruto, surprised by her hug, hugged her back, smiled and said, no problem, Hestia, if you want I can perhaps train you during the quest. I would love that, Hestia replied back with a smile. Just so you know, it won't be easy. I'll train you like how my senseis trained me, and they were pretty hardcore when they trained me. I mean, one time he pushed me off a cliff full of spikes so that I could summon a huge ass toad to get me out. Naruto said, causing Hestia to go pale. Hestia, realizing they were still hugging, released her hold. She blushed afterwards, then paled, remembering Naruto's training. Naruto, seeing Hestia's unrest, chuckled and said, do not worry, Hestia, I won't throw you off a cliff. I'm not going to train you as hard as my senseis trained me, although I will gradually make it harder for you when you're ready. Hestia sighed in relief and smiled to Naruto, thanks, you had me worried there. No problem, and when we do finish this mission, do you mind if you show me around Olympus? Naruto asked dumbly, realizing he basically asked Hestia to go on a date with him without him noticing. Why yes, I'd love to show you around Olympus when we finish the quest. Hestia stuttered as she blushed ruby red. Naruto looked at Hestia worriedly, seeing her face red, and touched her forehead and said, are you okay? Are you sick? Why yes, see you tomorrow. Hestia said as she teleported away, leaving a confused Naruto. Naruto walked out of the throne room, not wanting to teleport as he wanted to walk to his palace. As he exited, he was greeted by two gods with a remarkably huge grin plastered on their face. So, would you mind telling me what happened in the throne room between you and Aunt Hestia? Hermes said, waggling his eyebrows. I believe they were hugging for 1 minute and 23 seconds if I counted right. Apollo said, while Naruto blushed, realizing that they were hugging for a pretty long time. Also asked her out on a date. Hermes added, what do you mean? Naruto asked with genuine concern. Apollo laughed at his denseness, knowing what he said was the truth, that he did not mean for it being a date. Hermes said, chuckling, dude, you basically asked her on a date to take you around Olympus, which is basically a huge city that would take hours to tour. Naruto face-palmed and blushed in embarrassment, realizing what he did, although his heart fluttered seeing how she accepted his request. Naruto had to be honest, he did have a hint of admiration for Hestia as he learned of her wonderful personality. Also, even though primordial, he thought all the goddesses to be way out of his league, and seeing how Hestia, a maiden goddess no less, except made him burst in joy on the inside. Talk about a massive ego boost. Ah, so you finally realized. Apollo said, recovering from his laughter. Why yeah, Naruto stuttered, causing Hermes and Apollo to chuckle. Dude, here's some advice, do something unforgettable in the date. Apollo said as Naruto rolled his eyes. Okay, now what else do you guys want from me? Naruto asked, a little annoyed. Bro, come on, we bros don't talk to us like that. Hermes said as Apollo nodded his head furiously. Okay fine. Naruto said as he smiled. He always wanted brothers and Hermes and Apollo acted like one to him. Alright. Okay, we have to prank Aphrodite and Ares today. Hermes said as Naruto and Apollo grinned. Wait, before we go, what happened to Ether and Hemera? Naruto asked concerned. They're doing fine, still unconscious though. They'll recover and gain their consciousness once you've returned from the quest. Apollo said. Okay, stop with the chit chat, let's go. Hermes said as he summoned pranking materials. In a cave somewhere, the Primordials is in the midst of a meeting via Tartarus missed messaging. So I have received word from our little mole that Chaos Brat will take Hestia on the quest to find me. Tartarus said with an evil glint in his eyes. Haha, that brat take Hestia. You've got a pretty easy task if I do say so myself, Tartarus. Erebus said. Still though, we must not underestimate them. Remember, Naruto is a wild card. Nyx said to her husband while saying, Naruto, with hatred. Also, I've received rumors that dearest little brother has 9 Shinto primordials sealed within him. Dia said, causing every primordial on the meeting to widen their eyes in terror. TT, that's just a rumor, right? Asked a worried Tartarus. Every evil primordial except Tartarus laughed on the missed meeting. Brother, as a little saying goes, that's for you to know and for us to find out if you survive. Nyx said teasingly at the primordial of the abyss. Not see cool sis, Tartarus said, causing Nyx to smirk. Also, why don't you guys help? Tartarus yelled. Idiot. You missed last meeting. We could not help because we still are in out-weakened state. Even a strong demigod like that Percy Johnson or Jackson, whatever. My point is, even a demigod could make us reform. Only you can attack them with destructive force despite you still being in your somewhat weakened state. Dia said as Tartarus blushed in embarrassment. Okay, anyone else have to say anything on this meeting? Erebus asked, getting bored. Nobody spoke. Very well, meeting is adjourned. Erebus said as he left with a puff of jet black smoke, causing everyone on the receiving end to cough. If he had another domain cough, I think he would have been the primordial god of darkness and drama. Seriously, is he Zeus' real father? Tartarus said, causing every primordial to chuckle as he left, gathering his monster minions to get prepared for his